Leadership, should it be male or female, Megan?
That's not the right parameters of the question.
Welcome, everyone, to our panel discussion, Lead Like a Man. Today's panel discussion is in honor of tomorrow's International Women's Day 2022, and we're going to talk about leadership and what leadership has to do with gender and if it has anything to do with gender.
One track to bringing more women into leadership is external candidates, and certainly we were all external candidates at one point. And another track is sponsorship of the existing talent you have.
We have to define what kind of leaders do we want in the first place. What does that look like? What kind of skill set should they bring to the table?
If you were to set an example, like what kind of a leader would you wish to be and be perceived as? Like, what are your values that you want to convey?
Lead by example. So really think actions always count more than words, and what you do has an impact. People will always look at you, orientate their own behavior according to what you do. And I, as a leader, set the standard for everything. So really listening to the team, also making sure the more quiet voices are heard. I think that's also important, talking about finding women in the workspace, because they might not be the loudest, but they talk when they have something to say. And yeah, leading by example, listen first, I think are one of my two most important leadership principles, if you will.
I think my core principle is that a diversity of thought on a team is really important, especially a technical team or a cross-functional team that has a hard problem to solve and they're bringing multiple disciplines together. Diversity of thought is what makes better quality solutions there. I think one thing that's lovely about idealo is it is actually a genuinely very inclusive culture, and there is a lot of diversity of thought and people bringing different experiences to the table.
I quickly found that having the basis of caring for people is a really great starting point, but recognizing that, hey, my background is not in vain. It's not wasted. I can do this. I can believe in myself. I can bring something to the table. And it's not just that this is a diversity card to bring a woman in to just say they've done that, check mark, but it was really, okay, diversity is having a seat at the table, and inclusion is knowing that my voice is also heard. I have to say that just that initial trust was a game changer. Just to know that somebody else saw something in me and was willing to give me a go, give me a shot, and then believe that for myself. It kind of was the beginning of it all, so to speak.
Being a leader doesn't mean that you know already everything. It's like still, a journey that you go and you further learn, you grow, you make mistakes and you learn out of them. And I think being honest, and also being honest with your team and with the people, being empathical and having all the skills, that's okay, And I think having this kind of motivation, to be better every day and to make everyone your team as well. Yeah. I think that's also a big potential and a good starting point.
Absolutely. That was the biggest part of my journey too, was just recognizing that being authentic was more important than being perfect. And being okay to be transparent about maybe the mistakes or the vulnerabilities of, I'm actually not so sure about that part. And recognizing that, okay, leadership now is so much more about empowering and enabling, that it's not like I have to know it all and I need to make every single decision on how, when, and what, but sort of creating a discussion, creating the right format for the team to be able to collectively find a solution together.
And I think, in this new context, if we look on the remote work and having it even more difficult to be a leader, we working in a diverse environment, and we have remote work coming. So I think having even more this more feminine characteristics, can help even more, to bring people together in these more challenging times.
Good leadership is about creating accountability, creating a clear story about where we're going, and providing people with the tools that they need to be successful, which is ungendered in my mind.
One job that leaders should take on nowadays is making those unconscious biases open, spoken about, and thereby addressing them. And I think this way we can really make sure that we help those leaders with the most potential, be it male or female or any other gender, to grow up.
There's one question actually that was asking, what is non-binary leadership then? Like, what is maybe trans non-binary leadership? And obviously this doesn't really exist either. What we can do is just pick the best parts that we find and then find our own leadership style, find people that support us and concentrate and focus on that, focus on positive feedback, and then go our own way.